Andrew's out here on a phenomenal press tour for the life. Who'd you do this week, man?
Breakfast Club, man. That's the one I know about.
You did Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club was fire.
You did Shay Shay.
I did Shay Shay. That was dope, man. I did Shay Shay, I think, last week, actually. Was it last week or a couple weeks ago? Then it finally came out. So a bunch of these I recorded before. I did. I shout out to Letty, man. I did that. Brown
Letty,
Bag
you
Morning.
did Brown Bag.
She's
you did
the
Brown
best.
Bag.
Yo. They're great. They got a great crew, and I went to the WWE. That was cool.
WWE was fantastic.
I ain't gonna lie. That was
wanted
incredible.
you to send that to somebody, man.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of no.
You just want to be petty just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I empathize. You know, there's sometimes people might be frustrated when you live in their dreams, bro. And
exactly.
Trust me. And here's the thing: like, I'm not living your dreams. I'm living my life.
Living your life. That's but that's always the best reply.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: no matter how much somebody doesn't like you, there's always a tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of other people who do.
Man,
and that's the best.
It felt good.
But I was telling shows before we started the pod. It's like, you can have a show, right? Like The Life is out. The Life was number 2 on Netflix.
Yeah, we were number 2 on Netflix, and then we were the number 1 comedy special in the world.
Yes.
And then we were top 5 in the world of all TV. So not just US, but like that shit was crazy. Like, that was insane.
So when you do that, and then you do all of the great press that you're doing, you can't expect to go online and see videos of people actually saying good things. They're not gonna do that. There's not gonna be no reaction videos that give it up and be like, man, you know what? I really enjoyed The Life. Yo, you know what? I really enjoyed him on Shay Shay. I really enjoyed him on, Breakfast Club. They're not going to do that.
There's no money in that.
No.
There's no views in that.
No.
Get your money, though. Get your money, man. As long as you're talking about me, we're good.
And that's all.
As long as you talk about me, I'm not talking about you, we are good.
Because the algorithm don't know the difference.
They really don't. They really do. And low key, all I got to do is bring people back to the special. And then once you watch the special, you make your decisions up right there.
Hate watch.
Hey.
Yo, people always
haters pay the same price of admission.
Howard Stern said that a long time ago. There was a study that shows people who didn't like Howard Stern watched like 3 times as much than people who actually did.
So what's don't like? Because it sounds like you really like
haters. Pat Williams said it a long time ago. Hate is just confused admiration. Ooh. It's okay. It's okay.
And you know what? Prophets let people convert.
That's right. What was your favorite one? Like, what did you learn?
Oh God!
Because you're a podcast host too.
So this is the thing. Like, I'm learning so much about just. I never cared to be famous. Like, I knew being famous would be a byproduct of my goals with comedy, which is to be like the greatest, right? So, but I never like cared to be famous. So I never tried to like learn what it was to be famous or that kind of thing. So I didn't realize how offensive you have to be with fame.
Explain.
Like, the second your name garners views, people will use your name to get views and make a living and react to your stuff or whatever like that. Like, obviously we know there's so much like reaction content out right now. And there's another thing just about like reaction content in general. It's like, it's very popular. It is what it is. It's very popular. But and then once you get to a certain amount of followers and a certain amount of success, people will use your name for those views. And that's like part of being successful. Like, you have to pay the cost of that. But my reaction to that was just like, I'm just going to ignore it and keep on putting out art. Yes, but also you also got to snipe when it's ready to snipe. And you also got to take exact shots. And you don't have to talk about the people. You could sub the people so you're not actually saying their name.
Subs are so good.
And then hit those.
There was a time I didn't used to like subs, but subs are so
it's almost better. Because then they come screaming and you're like, what are you talking about?
The subs I like is when you're not even subbing a person, but the person, and by the way, they should do that. If I was a person who had a podcast about podcasts, or I was a person who did reaction videos, even if I wasn't subbing that person directly, I would take the clip and say that person's talking about me.
Oh, and they will.
Why not?
100%.
It don't hurt.
100%.
Because the 3,000 people that watch those individuals will be like, yo,
for that specific reason, that's another reason why, like, I don't want to make it about the Kendrick thing, but like, I didn't respond to the Kendrick thing for 2 weeks until I got confirmation. Because before I'm like, I'm not going to go say response. I don't even know if it's about me. Then once I get some confirmation, I go, okay, whatever. We feel a little bit more confident.
Bro, you're promoting a special. It's okay.
Exactly.
We don't got to fucking vent. Why are we complicating this?
Yeah,
like somebody said that to me the other day. They were talking about we were talking about Stephen A. Smith, and they were saying how Stephen A. Smith is going on this press tour for LeBron, and they was like, Andrew's still talking about Kendrick, whatever. I'm like, why not?
Well, they're asking me.
And that's what I said. I was like, yo, when Stephen A's going on these platforms, they're asking him. When Andrew's going on these platforms, they're asking Andrew. But why wouldn't you?
So here's the thing.
And by the way, you're talking about two of the greatest goats of all time in their field.
Right, of
course. You got LeBron in the NBA. Kendrick. Why wouldn't Stephen A. talk 100%. About it? You got Kendrick in rap. Why wouldn't people ask you about it? Why wouldn't you talk about it?
Every single person can ask me 100%. Okay, so what I was saying about like being offensive, right? So knowing when you got to like take shots at certain people and like squash certain narratives. And me, for the most part, I kind of just ignored it. I was like, I'm just going to keep on putting out great shit and think that's what it is. That only works for your core fans. The casuals really only consume the hate.
They only know you from that. Somebody might only know you from that.
They only know you for the hate. So you almost have empathy for their perspective on you because all they know is a headline and like a line that you say out of context, right? And I'm that way with people. That's how I think of Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle could be the nicest woman on the planet. I only know a headline and something she says out of context, and I'm like, what a raging bruh.
Jesus Christ.
See, I don't know.
That's why. See, that's why they don't like you.
No, I'm calling myself out. I'm calling myself out.
They're gonna take the clip. And all you're going to hear is Andrew Schulz calls Meghan Markle a raging B-word.
Damn, bro.
God damn.
What the hell is wrong with me?
I understand what you're trying to explain, but shit.
So, and then here's another thing I realized, right? So it's like, I brought all these like I try to bring all these different people on my podcast, right? And I'm like, one, because I'm really curious about different people and I want other perspectives. And then there's another part of it, where it's like, I want people to know that about me, that I am curious in all these different perspectives, right? Casuals don't listen to your pod.
No.
They only consume what hits their airwaves. So I realized when I was going to all these different pods, like the best conversations are the ones where that person thinks I am one way and then we get to discuss it. Because what you think of me, if you're just like reading headlines and that kind of stuff, you find out is quite different once we sit down and have a conversation.
And then they get mad because they like you. Then they get mad because they feel like they actually understand you. But what you said
that's the difference, sorry to cut you, between like for example, when Shannon's putting out clips on the internet, it's the casuals that already think a way about me or attach themselves to the clip. And then you look at the episode and the reactions are completely different because it's people actually listening to the conversation and getting this like holistic view. So now I realize like I got to go out there and I got to do more of these pods. I got to do other people's stuff. But I'm the last year, I'm like, I'm busy. I'm touring. I'm doing pods, and I'm a dad. So where's this time?
That is a very interesting perspective. I feel like, personally, and I could be wrong about this, I don't feel like you should go on any of the runs unless you're actually promoting something. But the reality is we're always promoting something. Like, if we wanted to, we could go out and promote Brilliant Idiots all day. You could promote Flagrant all day. Like, you know, I'm on Breakfast Club every morning. We could. I got books. The books are always out, you know. Audible originals are always out. You got specials out. You could always promote shit if you wanted to.
But I also feel like you did that early in your career. Like you would go on Fox on Kennedy's show. Like you would go on, but you'd also do Daily Show. You do these different things and you put yourself in these different spaces. Then those people were forced to consume you at home, not at an away game. When they come to watch our pod, that's an away game for them. But when you go to their favorite podcaster, that's going into their home. So it's very hard when you're in someone's home and you're willing to talk about whatever. Because that's what I say to every person I had an interview with. I go, ask me whatever you want to ask me.
Get it out. It's interesting, right? That's why I've always, even with Brilliant Idiots, remember, I used to always say, like, this is for the people who listen. This is for our Brilliant Idiots collective. But goddamn, this shit done leaked out to the world.
I said that. I was doing an interview with Will Kane at Fox News today.
Kane.
And I told him, and I said something to the Fox News people. I was like, listen, whatever one of you is assigned to the Brilliant Idiots podcast.
Thank you.
You're doing a fantastic job. But low key, to Will's credit, he said that he was like, I think you guys are the most important show in politics right now.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm like, what's it calling it? But he's like, paraphrasing it, but he's essentially like, you guys are friends that are having good faith conversations about political issues instead of two different teams that are trying to win.
Dunk on each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's right, though.
That's true. Somebody at MSNBC told me that. I'm not going to say her name because I don't know if she wants to be put out there like that. But she said the same thing.
Who?
I don't want to say it, but I think I sent it to you. I sent you the. I think I told you about it. Yeah, she said the same thing for that exact same reason.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't know if that's true or not. You know, I enjoy doing anything. I go to Breakfast Club every day. You know why? Because I enjoy doing that. Because whatever's happening in that room is a good faith conversation.
That shit was fun, bro.
I love doing Brilliant Idiots because whatever's happening here is a good faith conversation.
Yeah.
Like these are people that I talk to all the time. Me, Schulz, Chris, Taylor. Like that's actually what gets you in trouble.
Bro, what is?
When you're just too comfortable.
Yeah.
It's the best entertainment.
Because you start getting loose and you stop being protective of what you say. And then once you're really being loose, what you say can be, set out of context. But in retrospect, like I'm thinking about all these things, like when Ryan Clark put out that 10-minute soliloquy on me.
You gotta go on the pivot, Joe.
No, that's immediately. I'm like, I should have immediately been like, all right, let's discuss it.
Let's go on the pivot.
You have a lot of opinions on me. Why don't we have a conversation about those opinions?
Yeah.
I should go.
Did they reach out?
You know what's funny? It's they had, I think Shahidi is involved in it. And
Who the fuck is that?
I think he's the guy he runs Nelk and he runs a few other pods. So he was asking me way early on. But since then, no, they haven't. But absolutely.
Only reason I said that because I've heard you mention him. I heard you mentioned him on Breakfast Club. You mentioned him on Shay Shay.
Yeah.
I think
I want to go.
I think you and Ryan would have a fantastic conversation.
It's the same thing that we do with every one of these people. It's like, of course, we're going to have a good conversation because I'm not there to make you look stupid. I'm going to listen to what you have to say. Like, I'm going to give you, when you make good points, I'm never going to discredit the good point that you make.
The Pivot is one of my favorite podcasts. That is a place, we got to start saying that more. That is a place where good faith conversations happen.
There we go.
There's not a lot of platforms nowadays that are having good faith conversations. People are either doing things for ratings or they're setting, this conflict shit up for views and likes and things. Who's having good faith conversations? We should start talking about those platforms more.
100%.
The Pivot with, Channing and Fred and Ryan, they always have good faith conversations, which is why a lot of men go on there and be so vulnerable.
Because they feel safe.
Yes.
I like that. And that's the other thing, which I guess I should have been more forthcoming with it. I guess there's this part of me that's I'm like, if you want to talk about me in this situation, just message me, call me. You can get in touch with me through you. It's so easy to get in contact with me. So when there isn't that effort to get in contact with me, I'm like, oh, you guys are just going after clout. Because you could talk to me and I would come on your pod and I would talk to you. There's not a person I won't sit down and talk to.
Yeah.
If they've built something. If you're just a random person with a fucking TikTok account, just bickering, you haven't built something to justify the conversation. If you're someone who's built something, I admire that. If you're putting things out every single week and you're willing to be judged by the world, I admire that.
It's noticeable. I mean, listen, here's the thing. You're only going to talk about somebody you respect. I'm not going to let your name come out of my mouth if I don't respect you.
I said that. I said that on Shannon. I think that they're really good.
Yeah.
I compliment it. I said this about Kendrick too. I admire people who put out art to be judged. That's a vulnerable, scary thing to do.
Yeah.
I admire that. Do I disagree on certain things? Yeah. But I still admire, if you're a reaction channel, most of you have never put out something to be judged. You don't know what it's like to work really hard on something, give it out there to the world for them to hate it or love it. That's a vulnerable, scary thing. You just hate things.
I was thinking about that the other day. Me and Ak was having a conversation, and I was thinking about why don't I respect the reaction channels anymore? I used to enjoy them for entertainment, and that was what the reason was.
There's no vulnerability in it.
Not only is there no vulnerability in it, you know why we love First Take? You know why we love we'll watch Fox Sports because they'll have people on there who've actually either played the game or been so involved in the game that you respect what they're saying. It's a reason that a podcast like the R&B Money podcast with Tank and Jay Valentine works.
Yeah,
because Tank was an R&B star. Jay Valentine's a producer or writer. They've had actual success. So when they talk about the game in the industry, you listen. And that's why when they, the L.A. Reid, Smokey Robinson's going there and have conversations, it's a different vulnerability they have with those guys because they respect them and what they've done. The reason, you watch some of these reaction channels or you watch some of these podcasts about podcasts, you don't even know what you're talking about. And you haven't even had the success of any of the people that you're talking about.
And you haven't even felt the judgment when you do put yourself out there. Like, it's a very comfortable, like, low risk position to just shit on things. It is the lowest risk.
It's low risk, high reward.
Oh, yeah.
If it hits, it hits.
That's why everybody does it. It's the easiest form of content. I'm going to sit down and people are going to try hard on things and I'm going to shit on them when they fail. Yeah. And I'll never congratulate them when they succeed.
No.
Because there's no money in it.
You should thank us. When y'all succeed, you should literally at least twice a year say, thank you.
You're welcome.
To everybody that you're talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
To me. But, it was enjoyable, man.